I'm back to see Darren and Julie Spry. 14 months ago, these ex-chip shop owners charged Phil and I with finding them a new home and a new business. But with Julie pregnant and homeless, time was not on our side. Finding a new home is always tough, but when you're changing locations and finding a new job, it's even tougher.
Scarborough fish and chip shop owners Julie and Darren Spry are on the hunt for a new family home. For Julie, living above the shop in a small flat with a tiny kitchen and bathroom is no bed of roses, and she's had enough. Son Freddie is 10 months old and there's another baby on the way.
It's not conducive to family life. Some ground floor living accommodation is absolutely essential so that I can feel that I can take the babies and the dog straight out of the back door, out into the very essential garden, and just feel like it's more of a normal living situation.
Working 70 hours a week has taken its toll on Darren too, and he hardly ever gets time with his family.
Darren's downstairs working all day and I'm up here or out and about with Freddie. So we don't really get to see each other until late into the evening.
Scarborough's lost its charm for them, and they're looking to make a new family-friendly start.
It's very kiss-me-quick. We don't really like Freddie to see people drunk, throwing food about and being particularly noisy at midnight.
Really, we want to be in sort of more of a rural location, don't we?
We want to serve a community.
So they're quitting Scarborough, and with Julie's parents living in Chesterfield, they've decided to focus their search to nearby Lincolnshire. So the family's close, but not too close. They've sold their award-winning chippy to finance this new life. So they're homeless with a baby on the way. Crikey, the clock really is ticking.
We need to find great accommodation for Julie, Darren and their expanding brood, and I'm determined to eliminate any awful above-the-shop accommodation.
And as the home is driving our search, I've been given carte blanche with the business. They're not bothered what it is, as long as family life improves. It doesn't even have to be a chippy.
In Lincolnshire, house sales outnumber business sales 500 to 1, so it ain't going to be easy. They've raised 80 grand from the sale of their chip shop and home, and due to their solid business record, they can get a loan to bring their budget to £275,000. First up, we're in the perfect village environment at the heart of the community, looking at a great family home. It's in the village of Billingborough, and I think it's a real find. This place has downstairs living area, kitchen and garden, plus 4 bedrooms upstairs.
Sounding good so far, and the business is great. A fish and chip shop that's at the front of the living space. It's just come back onto the market for 245 grand, well under their 275 budget, and for my money, it's a winner.
First up this morning, I've got a fish and chip shop for you. So it can't be a bad
Familiar
thing.
territory, definitely.
Well, as they say, better the devil you know.
Yes, absolutely.
Clearly they hadn't worked with Phil before.
Oh, wow. I'm actually really impressed. Accommodation with fish and chip shops are notoriously in poor condition.
You really are at the centre of the village.
That is village life. It's pretty much got everything that we've asked for. The shop is at the centre of the village, and it's really the kind of place that we'd like to settle.
Blimey, this is all going really well. And what's more, the chippy's got a healthy turnover of around 1,500 quid a week for a very sociable 30 hours, giving a gross annual income of around £36,000.
What this shop has, which our last business didn't have, is the fact that the community are literally supporting the business day after day, week after week.
Could we have a serious contender with our first appointment?
What have you thought of the accommodation?
As far as I'm concerned, the accommodation is absolutely spot on, but I have got one reservation, and that's that alleyway next door.
See, that's been such a problem for us before.
I don't want kids hanging around outside my back door.
Talk about speaking too soon. I knew Darren and Julie had some trouble outside their Scarborough chippy, but they simply can't compare this sleepy village to the rough and tumble of a seaside resort. This property is perfect. A fabulous home, a profitable business that they already understand. To reject it because of this alleyway is madness.
Julie's reaction tells me that community really is going to be the make or break issue with this search. She wants to be at the centre of a village that's really going to improve family life. I'm seriously concerned, so I'm going back to the agents to see what else has come on the market.
Phil, you're such a worrier. I think our next appointment has all the ingredients they're after, with not a single alleyway in sight. We've moved the search to the nearby village of Morton. This bungalow has a kitchen cum family room, a sitting room, 2 good-sized bedrooms, a bathroom, plus that all-important garden for Julie at the back. The property is on the market for £245,000, well within their budget. The location's spot on too.
What a lovely village.
It's basically what a village should be, isn't it?
I'm glad you think that. That's a very good first impression.
Attached to the house is the business side of things. No chip shop this time, it's a thriving village shop with off-licence and post office. So they'd be putting down roots in a well-established community.
Now, coming straight in here, I'm going to take you through to what the current owners have got arranged as a family room and kitchen.
I'm taken to the shape of the room.
Yeah.
And I can really see that we could have exactly what we need in it because there's plenty of space.
Now, this is what you wanted, Julie.
I need a garden.
You need a garden.
I need a garden.
It's actually a very good size.
It is a really good size.
I mean, one of the things that appeals to me about this property is you've got the opportunity to add value to the property itself. You could put on a sunroom, you could redo the garden, and you could really make the house a very interesting prospect.
Yeah.
Home and garden, bang on target.
But don't forget the business. It's a far cry from the fish and chip shop, but a village store will give them regular hours and more of that all-important family time. As postmasters, these two would be at the hub of the village. If they like the business, they'd have to apply for a licence to run the post office. But with Darren's business brain, I'm sure he'd be successful. Which is great news because it's a nice little earner too. 50 grand a year to be precise.
What would you feel standing behind here as you're...
You go in.
How does it feel, Darren?
It feels odd. I have to say it feels odd because it's not something that I'd considered doing.
Come on, Darren. Help us out here. This place gives a great income and allows more time as a family. Plus the living space is ideal.
I'm not ruling this out. Not completely ruling.
I'm not
It
asking
doesn't
you to
fire me up.
No.
But I'm not ruling it out.
But what I'm trying to point out to you is that for the next 10, 15 years, I want to put down roots so the children can go to school, and I cannot see you being enthusiastic about bringing in a new flavour of pot noodle.
Alleyways, pot noodles. I think these two have forgotten that they're jobless and homeless.
I'm scouring the agents in the hope that a new property might come to light.
Whilst I carry on with the search to get the combination of family home for Julie and inspiring business for Darren. I've found somewhere in Folkingham, one of the most sought-after villages in Lincolnshire. This listed Georgian family house is fantastic. It's not just accommodation attached to a business, it's a home in its own right, crammed with charm. It would provide the secure nest Julie's desperate for. Downstairs is a sitting room, kitchen and utility rooms, with 4 double bedrooms and bathroom upstairs. Plus, it has 4 outhouses and a pretty garden.
For Darren, there's an underperforming tea shop, open 1 day a week. That's got to get his business brain whirring into action.
It's on for £295,000, 20 over budget, but with some serious elbow grease, Darren could turn the tea shop into a gold mine. Believe you me, the stunning home has these two written all over it, and we simply had to show it to them.
Wow. This is the sitting room.
Well, not really much character. Incredible.
What we're looking at right now is basically a family space, isn't it? And it feels...
It feels like a home.
Blimey, they're moving in already and they haven't even seen the 4 sunny bedrooms upstairs.
I didn't expect
It's
it to
massive,
be as
isn't it?
long-reaching as it is.
The garden's nice and private, just what Julie wants.
Oh no, it's fine.
That'll be fine.
Yeah, it's in fact no, that's a terrible
better
thing to
than
say.
fine.
It's more than fine.
Yeah.
I can't help but smile, but we've been here before, twice. They've yet to see the tea room and I haven't told them the price.
It is on at £295,000.
That's a lot over budget.
It is.
Even though there's room for negotiation, the mere mention of the budget has sent them into a spin. Is the charm of the house and the child-friendly garden going to be enough to make them dig deeper?
I can't help but feel a little bit frustrated, really, and slightly disappointed, purely because we're looking at a property and a business which is essentially out of our reach.
That's it. Let's walk away. The only thing I think we've achieved in this property, and I think we have achieved something, is that you have shown that your comfort zone is where you want to operate in.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been made crystal clear, and we won't make that mistake again. There's no more budget stretching.
No, that's just
There
not
can't be.
on the
There
cards
can't
for
be.
us.
Yeah.
That told me that these two have got to realise that a limited budget means compromise.
But chatting up the agents has paid off. I reckon I found something special. It's in the market town of Boston, and I'm joining the guys to check it out.
It isn't a million miles away from what they're used to, an old fish restaurant. And Boston, being a busy town, means more people. More people means the potential for more money for the family to enjoy. But it's the house that made it an absolute must. It's stunning.
I'm desperate to see
Yeah,
this
we
place.
need to go. We need to go.
This 3-storey Georgian townhouse is in one of Boston's best streets. It was once a thriving fish restaurant that's now empty but packed with potential. The living space is simply charming, with a sitting room and kitchen on the ground floor and 4 bedrooms, bathroom and drawing room above. And there's a lovely garden.
And the price stacks up too. In fact, it's a whopping 75 grand under budget at just under £200,000.
The sign's actually listed. It really is. It's like stepping back in time. It's amazing.
Now, the current owner's father set up the fish restaurant, and you can see that very little has changed.
Nothing has changed.
It's a Georgian house which has had updating. It's almost like every family that have been in it have done something to it. There's Edwardian elements, there's elements from the 1930s, and then at some point in the last 40 years, that updating stopped.
So, what are they thinking? Hopefully they can see that this location is somewhere they can put down roots and the house is big enough to grow into.
My heart literally is screaming, you can't bring Freddie here, and you certainly can't bring another one into the world here. It's not right. Village life.
Well, let's just go and see the rest of it, for curiosity's sake.
I barely want to stay in the building, to be completely honest. I feel so strongly about it.
Oh, come on, Julie, this is a fantastic place to bring up a family and you don't even want to look around.
At least check out the former restaurant. It's been empty for over 20 years and is crying out for someone like Darren to take it on. And remember that price, under 200 grand.
It's a house of history. It is unbelievable.
I'm more likely to say something along the lines of underground public convenience.
Well, that's that. I was convinced this place would be a last-minute winner. Even the fantastic outside space isn't going to sway Julie.
My heart sinks, really, because I don't think I can sacrifice a rural community, which we've anchored after for a long time now.
These two are tricky customers. We've used up all our options. I don't think they realise what they want for their budget just isn't out there.
Is there anything else that's in your mind that you want me to explore?
I think there's a possibility that we're comparing the properties that we're seeing today and yesterday back to the Red Lion at East Kirkby, near Spilsby, which is a property that I've seen sort of probably a month or two ago.
We've seen it. We discounted it.
Right.
Why?
We discounted it because it didn't think it was in a particularly exciting village, and it's on at £300,000. It's clicking around your brain still.
Still.
Big property with a lot of potential, but it's 300 grand.
And what did
the
you do to
finances
me
may not be
yesterday?
right.
No, honestly,
Yesterday, when I took you to see that tea shop, which cost too much money, I thought I would die of guilt.
Kirstie, we're not kidding you. We can't pull more out of nowhere.
No.
But if it's been on a while, if indeed it's still on the market,
I'll find out some more information on that.
brilliant.
Excellent.
Aha, so that's the real story. All along, Julie has been comparing everything against the Red Lion pub she saw a while back, and now wants to take a second look.
Luck is on their side. The Red Lion at East Kirby is still on the market. It's a lovely old traditional pub with a selection of outbuildings and a huge garden that I can really see Julie falling for. But the compact living accommodation of 2 double bedrooms, a sitting room and bathroom is upstairs, above the pub. Another reason we discounted it.
This is on at 300 grand, 25 over their budget. But despite claiming they had no extra money in the kitty, it doesn't seem to matter here.
There's big smiles on your face.
There's definitely going to be a big smile on my face while I'm here.
You look a different person.
Now, I can completely understand wanting to live in a pub, but we've been dead set on finding a family home for these two, and I can't see how this place betters anything else we've seen, even with its big garden and outbuildings. Clearly, Julie can.
This is where I see our family,
Living in here.
with considerable amount of alteration, but obviously it's very close to the garden.
Julie's plan is to turn these outbuildings into a family home, and with her dad being a builder, it's a good plan. But am I missing something? Where's the money coming from?
And whilst any transformation takes place, they'd still be living upstairs for at least a year. I hope they've thought all this through.
This place is almost a property in business in instalments, isn't it?
Yes, in the making.
You get a bit, you do a bit, you make a bit of money, then you do a bit more, and then all of a sudden you've got something, this will appeal to Kirstie, worth a bit, something that you've really built up, and something we can call ours.
But Darren, you'd be running the pub at the same time. It's not firing on all cylinders now, and currently turns over less than £1,000 a week. And to get this place back to its prime, they'll be working 24/7. So much for family time.
This is very nice. This is all very nice. But think about the realities of it.
The reality is that it's an asking price of £300,000.
Well, we might be able to do a deal, but 4.5 days a week and 30 hours at the chippy for £1,500. 7 days a week, all hours God gives, for almost half that.
I know.
Twice the work, half the money.
I know, and I wouldn't run a pub for
Even
all
I
tea
can
in
do
China.
those maths.
Despite my concerns, they've really fallen for this place. And after a busy afternoon, it's time to touch base and find out where we go next.
But it's been a real journey, hasn't it? Twists and turns all the way along the way.
Are you at a place where you want to make an offer and you've got a figure in mind, or are you wanting to think about it more?
I personally feel that we should take some time to talk about everything that's happened.
If we could put a phone call in saying, yeah, we quite like it, we're considering a couple of opportunities, but the price is a real issue, we're having a think about it, we'll get back to you in due course. They start to scratch their chin, and they're the ones that are losing sleep, not you.
So it's decided. Offer-wise, we hold tight for a week. Then Kirstie puts in an offer of $245,000, some 55 under the asking price. Well, the news is in.
It's not going to come as a bolt from the blue that they turned down the offer of 245.
So that was that. They had no extra cash, so they called time on the Red Lion and postponed the search. With nowhere else to go, they had no option but to move the whole family in with Julie's parents.
A few months down the line and the search resumed. Despite the knockback of losing the pub and with an extra mouth to feed, Darren and Julie were just as committed to finding a family home and a family-friendly business.
With the arrival of baby Joe, Darren and Julie shifted the search slightly to be nearer to the support of Julie's parents and began the search all over again. They were beginning to think that their dream property would remain just a dream.
But I'm thrilled to report that Darren and Julie did finally find the right business-home combo here in Haxty, just outside Doncaster. But surprise, surprise, it's a shop, something Darren said was a total no-no. So I'm determined to find out what changed his mind and whether we played any part in it.
I'm not one to be smug, but
I've got one thing to say to you, Darren Spry.
It's a pot noodle, isn't it?
One pot noodle, please.
After all I said as well.
You put us through hell and back. Oh, never run a shop. No, not interesting enough.
I know.
The original reason for selling the chip shop was to spend more time with the family, to work less hard.
Yes.
Have you achieved that?
I think I work harder. I certainly work more hours, but the ability to just pop through and be involved with the family means that... I mean, Joe, he was the bump when we met you first time. I know him and he knows me better than at Freddie's same stage of life he knew me.
by compromising on the type of business they've gone for, Darren and Julie have managed to find a great family home in the village setting they were craving. Not only that, but they've got themselves a real bargain. This place only cost them £218,000, 57 grand under budget. It's got a bedroom for each of the children, a big bathroom, a master bedroom, and a separate sitting room area where the couple can relax at the end of the day. Outside, there's a spacious garden and the house to grow into.
I gather from Darren that there's 2 people sleeping upstairs.
Fast asleep.
And there's another one on the way.
And we do now have our own new bump, yes.
That is fantastic. All I know about Haxey is what I saw as I drove through it, but it seemed to have a post office, there's a beautiful church. What's the community feel like here?
It's brilliant. The people, sometimes when you're having your worst possible day,
Yeah.
the people never ever make a bad day worse, they always make a bad day better. I'll see you later, Pat.
I can't believe the energy of these two. Not content with a thriving business and a rapidly expanding family, Darren and Julie have major plans for the house as well.
Am I right in thinking that you're going to extend up?
Yes, the traditional roof is going to be brought across to get rid of the flat roof, basically.
Yeah.
And then we'll be able to fit 2 good-sized bedrooms up there.
So you'd end up with a 5-bed house?
Yes.
With a large garden? It's going to be quite an undertaking.
Because we didn't actually spend right up to our budget.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's
The money that was left over, you know, we can start with sort of straight away, really.
in the village. Is it a good village for a family?
I think so. I mean, it's early days, but what we've seen of it, you know, we both really like.
There's a good network in place of baby groups and preschools, and the school, which is about 500 yards in that direction, it's really excellent.
So you've got it all there,
Yeah, it's all there.
and this is definitely the right.
This is definitely the right choice, and it's definitely home now.
Yes. Definitely.
It took a long time for them to find the right property, and now they've got it, there's many more months of building work and upheaval, not to mention 2 children and another on the way. But their energy and family focus is always incredibly impressive.
This week I'm back in Bath, catching up with a couple who put Kirstie and I through the mill on what was one of our toughest searches ever. Sadie and Simon had fallen out of love with their 3-storey house and wanted to swap it for life on 1 level. No, I don't mean a flat, a bungalow.
It's stunning. But I think bungalows in Bath, they're having a laugh.
Anyone got a bungalow?
Oh, stop it! You'll show us up.
Sadie and Simon had sold their gorgeous Georgian townhouse, but they'd got only 3 weeks until they and their 3 kids were going to be homeless. But in a town famous for its grand architecture, it was no surprise that after 12 months of searching for a bungalow, they still hadn't found the right place. Sadie buys and sells vintage clothes, and if that wasn't enough, she also looks after Ruby, Kizzy and Billy at home. The 3-storey house in Bath just wasn't practical for their needs.
There's no downstairs toilet, which I know doesn't sound like the end of the world, but when you've got 3 youngsters, I'm constantly running up and downstairs with one of them. There's no utility room, there's no playroom for the kids, so, you know, the lounge is constantly full of toys.
And the space was no longer practical for Simon either. He's a composer and wanted to work from home, but living in a terrace made this impossible. Instead, he rented a studio nearby. But they weren't quite ready to sacrifice everything for single-storey living.
I think our challenge this week is actually to make sure they realise what a pickle they're in. You are being shoved out onto the doorstep in 3 weeks' time. So frankly, things you might have discounted previously are going to look a bit better than they did before.
I'm not so sure. I don't know. I mean, we've sold a lovely house, a lovely home. I'm not going to buy something that I don't love.
We're prepared to look at, you know, any options, and if you throw something our way that we would maybe haven't considered in the past, then, you know, all well and good. Whether we'll like it or not is another matter.
I'm speechless. No wonder these guys have been searching for so long.
There doesn't seem to be much movement in their brief whatsoever.
Sadie and Simon want a 4-bedroom period bungalow in Bath with a huge garden and an outbuilding that can be converted into a studio, all for £440,000.
But as we know, bungalows are rare, and as this move is all about finding a livable layout, we're not going to shy away from showing them houses where the space works just as well. Whenever you're looking for an unusual property, you've got to go the extra mile.
Now, there are 40 estate agents in Bath, and we're in touch with every single one of them. But more than that, we've checked private sales ads, websites, we've leaflet dropped, we've spoken to architects, to planners, to builders. There is no stone left unturned in this city, but I'm afraid our shortlist is still very, very short.
There's no getting away from it, this search has been a nightmare. But we've managed to find them a bungalow that's already had its attic space converted.
It's in the village of Box, slightly outside their preferred patch, but we've had to trade location for single-storey style.
Simon, what's your views of being in Box?
It would be right on the edge of where we'd like to live.
But you understand that we've come 6-7 miles out of Bath in order to find the plot size. What's going through your mind?
Retirement house.
Ho, ho, that is rich coming from you. You wanted a bungalow. I'll give a retirement home. This bungalow is pretty bang on for my mind.
There's a sunny lounge, brand new kitchen, family bathroom and 4 large bedrooms. And there's a huge garden with fabulous views. It's on the market for £415,000.
First things first, front room. Now, Phil and I are slightly knocked back by... We thought you'd be more enthusiastic.
Right.
And we're a little disappointed. But we're going to soldier on, because we're that kind of people. I'll take this room, for example. If that fireplace wasn't you, which I suspect it isn't...
Absolutely not.
You could immediately replace it.
Yeah, sure.
And those windows can really, really be immediately replaced. Yeah. Does that make it a bit cheerier?
I think we need to see...
You go and have an explore.
OK.
Yeah.
She looks really miserable and upset.
She looks really upset, and I was so thinking she'd love this house. I think I'm going to cry.
A bit early for tears, Kirstie. It's only house 1.
On paper, this bungalow has everything they've asked for, and they could move in straight away. Perfect for a soon-to-be homeless family. Surely the amazing upstairs will swing it.
So this loft extension was put on 2 years ago.
Oh, right.
I think they've done a very good job. They've got...
Oh, this is sweet.
2 good-sized bedrooms.
Yeah.
Both the rooms have got these ensuite bathrooms. And the other bedroom at the end. Are we doing better as you've gone through the house?
I don't know, there's something missing. I'm not getting that feeling.
Let's hope we have more joy outside. The garden here is pretty special. Surely Simon will fall for it.
I don't know, there's something not quite grabbing me at the moment about it. I mean, it is lovely, it's really well done.
Bungalow, which you wanted. Good village, great garden, good price, good view. And you're homeless in 3 weeks with your 3 children. What is there to grab you? I would grab it.
I just don't like it. And
It's fine.
I know we're being crazy.
Tomorrow,
but...
we'll kidnap the children and give them each a very heavy little suitcase and set them walking down the street. And that will bring home to you the reality of your situation.
Bit strong, Kirstie. But we have clearly missed the mark with this one. We really need to get to the bottom of what's wrong with it.
I was really enthusiastic about this.
Really?
And
this is so wrong.
And this is so wrong.
We're compromising on location.
Okay.
So if we're compromising on location, I've got to be wowed. I've got to love it, and I don't even like it.
Oh no, this is the only bungalow we found worth showing them. Bath is a Georgian city, not a retirement village, and bungalows are a rare breed indeed. We're in big, big trouble.
Now, we know that location is king and they don't want to leave their comfort zone. So with that in mind, we're back in Bath.
In fact, our next property is only 1 street away from where they currently live. It may not be a bungalow, but it's a great house which could really work for them.
It'd be perfect to be here because we're stone's throw away from the in-laws. So,
So
that would be good.
We're in the right location, which is always a really good start.
So, in-laws and local schools, the street's a real winner. And I reckon the layout's spot on as well. Downstairs, there's a big lounge, dining room and contemporary kitchen.
Upstairs, there are 3 good-sized bedrooms, a brand new bathroom, and the owners have recently converted the loft into a huge master bedroom with ensuite bathroom.
They said they wanted a big garden, and for central Bath this is massive, with plenty of space to build a studio for Simon. Plus, it's got that all-important downstairs toilet.
And it's a steal at 110 grand below their 440 grand budget. It may just blow the bungalows out of the water. Now, here we've got a good-sized dining area, and a very good-sized kitchen. This is all bigger than what you currently got for less money than what you're selling your house for. You're looking like your bottom lip's about to wobble, Sadie.
Yes, it feels like that, to be honest with you. It's absolutely not
Our thing.
No, because I feel like we would be swapping our house for less of a house.
I think that's a problem we're going to come across over the next few days, because you live in a lovely house that doesn't suit your requirements. In order to get something that matches your requirements, it's unlikely to be as nice.
They're being so negative about this house, but it's got loads of space. Maybe Phil can talk Simon round.
The thing that strikes me straight away is that it feels like it's quite overlooked.
If the studio could be put here, it would block that view from the house. Would the garden then suffice?
No.
OK.
Realistically speaking, I don't think so.
What do you think Sadie will be saying?
I think she'll probably be saying, when are we going to the next property?
I'm not going to stand here and have a conversation with you where we pretend that I think you're going to buy this house.
Yes, let's be realistic. The garden really bothers me.
The garden.
It's not big enough. And I'm not sure about the layout either, to be honest with you.
Oops, we're in a pickle. 2 properties down and 2 firm no's. It's not surprising these guys have been house hunting for 12 months.
We've gone on and on and on and on at the agents for weeks now, and it seems like it might just have paid dividends.
A few of them mentioned a bungalow that they'd valued 6 months ago within Sadie and Simon's budget. But it didn't come onto the open market.
Yeah,
So, never one's to shy away from a challenge. We contacted the vendor directly and asked if it was for sale. He wasn't 100% committed to selling, but said we could come and take a look.
It's in the hamlet of Longsplat, only a 15-minute drive from central Bath, and sits on an acre plot with breathtaking views.
It's pretty special, but we're taking a big risk in even showing them a house that isn't on the open market. We've never done anything like this before, and I'm worried if they fall for it, we may not even be able to secure it.
They are undecided as to whether they're actually going to sell it, and it does depend on the offer. The very fact that they're letting us come to see it is a good sign, because if they were really not going to sell, they wouldn't be letting us view it. So we think it's worth a punt.
We're very excited today. We weren't yesterday when we approached the properties. Today, I really want to go in.
It's great.
Well, come on, let's chat. More
I
viewing.
might get on my hands and knees and beg them.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that, Sadie, but it's certainly an option.
This bungalow was built in 1913 and has a unique layout.
There's a huge kitchen diner, playroom, sitting room, family bathroom and 2 double bedrooms, all on one level.
In this case, the loft hasn't been converted, but an extension was added onto the back of the property 30 years ago to give another double bedroom, sitting room, galley kitchen and shower room.
It needs updating, but space-wise it's perfect and was valued 6 months ago at between £350,000 and £450,000.
This is the 2nd bedroom here, which is a nice big size.
Right,
And family bathroom in here
right.
with separate shower.
OK.
Needs a bit of an update.
Yeah.
And then coming through here, what we've got here is a little area that I think you could kit out as a playroom, because through here is what you're going to want to have as a big kitchen family room.
Yeah.
Well, the key to yesterday's rejections was the garden, but this one is an absolute stunner.
Wow, it's absolutely beautiful.
There is...
Breathtaking, I would say.
Breathtaking will
Yes.
do. Breathtaking will do.
Simon's #1 priority was room for a music studio, and this place doesn't disappoint with a double garage ripe for conversion.
It's fantastic.
It's an acre plot. It's one acre.
I don't know what to say. It really is.
No, it's absolutely perfect.
Simon, can you see yourselves living here?
Yes,
Oh,
now.
without a shadow of a doubt.
Obviously, it's not on the open market, so it's not as though we're saying, here's a package.
That's the problem with this one, isn't it?
That is the problem.
That's the problem.
We seem to be good at this,
Yeah.
this sort of thing. The only thing missing from this property is the for sale sign outside, which is slightly worrying.
Yes, that is a worry, and it's one that needs addressing.
Hiya. Right, we ready to roll?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we love it. Absolutely love it, but we're kind of reluctant to fall in love with it too much, just in case.
Wise move.
Yes.
Very wise move.
It's fantastic that they've fallen for it, but I'm glad they're being realistic, as there's every chance we may not be able to secure it. Let's face it, they're homeless in 3 weeks and we need to keep on searching.
And we found a one-off. It may not be a bungalow, but it's an absolute dazzler. And there's a for sale board outside.
Sadie and Simon are looking for something unique, and this doesn't disappoint. It's a fabulous double-fronted cottage with a massive garden, bang in the centre of Bath.
All this, and it's under budget. What more could they ask for?
The best way to appreciate this house is from the rear garden. It's fabulous, and I want it to be the first thing they see, so I'm not taking any risks.
Close your eyes.
Okay.
Close it. Seriously?
Yes.
Has this ever been done before?
No, never. This is the
Okay.
first.
Cool.
Now, turn to your left, right. Okay, you can open your eyes now.
Oh, lovely garden.
Lovely garden.
Yeah.
Now, Sadie, you just have a walk up those steps behind you.
Oh, wow.
It's an upside-down house.
It certainly is. It's quirky and so them. On the ground floor, there are 3 characterful bedrooms and a family bathroom.
Whilst upstairs, there's a 4th bedroom that they could use as a playroom, a rustic kitchen, and an amazing open-plan sitting room. This house is spectacular, and I know they're just going to love it.
So this is classified as their lounge, I guess?
Yes,
Right.
exactly. But this is just family lounge.
Yeah.
And I mean, the view is just something else.
It's very unusual. It's amazing.
Totally unusual.
Yeah.
I've very rarely seen anything like this. I'm nuts about this house. And this kitchen is lovely and very much more up your alley than any kitchen we've seen.
I really like it. I do really like it. But I don't think Simon will want this.
Really?
Yeah. He won't want that busy road.
The one thing that strikes you straight away is the main road outside.
But you wanted to live in central Bath, where the roads would be bigger.
We want everything, don't we? We want everything, and we're not going to get everything, I know.
You said it.
Oh dear, I'm getting that sinking feeling.
It's absolutely lovely, and 5 years ago we would have had it like that. It's lovely,
Nooks and crannies.
lovely
It's quite
house.
You know what? I
isn't
think
it?
all this
Very
is
quirky,
balls.
but too quirky.
It's all balls. This is a great house.
Yeah.
It's not for you.
No.
The house you want was the one we found
Yes.
this morning. We've got to make sure that's A, for sale,
Yeah.
B,
Would help.
can be purchased at a price that you can afford,
Yeah.
and C, work out how you can alter that house to make it suit you.
Absolutely.
There's no getting away from it. The bungalow has blown them away. But this is no simple option.
No matter how much Sadie and Simon love this house, there are no guarantees that the owner will sell. And it's our job to keep their feet firmly on the ground.
It is lovely. It is absolutely beautiful. I just don't want to think about it too much. Because if we don't get it, this one's going to be hard. Very hard.
This isn't straightforward. I need to speak to the owner to see just what the situation really is.
I love this spot and I don't really want to go. But if somebody made me the right offer, then I would probably have to accept it.
Understood.
This is a really heartbreaking situation. There are so many emotions involved because we're dealing directly with the owner and not an agent.
Hey, you two.
Hello.
I think Council of War is what we need.
We found
Right.
out quite a bit of information, lots to discuss.
Yeah,
good.
tactics.
Sadie and Simon's maximum budget is 440 grand. 6 months ago, this bungalow was valued between 350 and 450 grand. But the owner is reluctant to sell it.
This is a difficult situation. We need to maximise their chances of securing it.
You have to tell us what is the maximum price you can pay for that house, given that we, A, don't want it to go on the open market,
Yeah.
B, you have been searching for a year and you know how suitable it is,
Absolutely.
and C, it is a really, really cracking
I
investment.
know. We've been thinking 420. I mean, would
I mean,
420 be attractive to
I think it
him?
would.
I mean, it's nearer the top end of his valuation,
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly.
It's not halfway. Okay, well, that's my
420.
comfort zone.
Yeah, I think 420 is
I'm
pretty good.
shaking already. Let's just do it because I'm so stressed.
I believe the best way to secure this bungalow is to write an honest and straightforward letter to the owner.
Not only does it have to detail their financial situation, but also show that they've fallen in love with the property and want to raise their 3 children there.
A week later, they heard back from the owner. He wanted to see them in person.
When Hugh actually said that
we could have the house. That was unbelievable, wasn't it?
It was
absolutely
actually
amazing.
the reaction was unexpected. I mean,
Yes.
you burst into tears, didn't
Thank you, Simon.
Yeah,
Yes, I
it was
did, which
all-
is
it
very
was-
unlike me. But I just felt really I suppose, relieved. Do you know what I mean? Because we wanted it so badly. I wanted it so
It was
badly.
unbelievable, the feeling.
And it was amazing. We were just in seventh heaven.
They moved in just 3 months later and have been busy making it their own. Just over a year on, and I'm back to see how things worked out. Sadie and Simon's was one of the most stressful searches we've ever undertaken. This was the only suitable house within a 20-mile radius, and it wasn't even for sale. So there was a lot of blood, sweat and tears spilled. I'm dying to see whether it was all worth it.
Hello.
Sadie, good morning.
How are you?
Very well. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
How you doing?
Come on in.
Sadie and Simon have wasted no time putting their stamp on this house. But has it all lived up to expectations?
Oh, and more, definitely.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Every day, I just think, I can't believe we've got this place. I can't believe
And what is
It's
it, the
just-
change of lifestyle?
It's just the peace and the quiet and the kids out in the garden and, you know, going
They're
walking
living
in the
life of
countryside.
Riley, aren't
Yeah,
they?
it's
I mean,
unbelievable.
just- I've often thought, even if we won the lottery, I wouldn't want to move.
With this setting, it's easy to see why. What's more, they've transformed this dated bungalow into a chic country home. The kitchen has a fab retro feel, and the once cluttered study is now an open playroom for the kids. Sadie's got her wish, with not one but 2 loos on the ground floor. But the back of the house has had the most incredible change, where 4 rooms have been knocked into one huge living space. Oh, Sadie, big changes in here.
Yep.
Spectacular.
We got there in the end.
Did you do the actual work yourselves?
Yep. All of it.
What, you and Simon, hammers and chisels?
It was hard work,
Yeah.
really hard work. Yes, many
Yeah, especially
late
with 3
nights
kids.
and yeah.
But you were presumably both still trying to work from home as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have had a busy year, haven't
Yeah.
you?
Yes, we have. It's been a tough year. Yeah, which is why we've sort of finished this part of the house, and we think we'll leave that for a few years now.
Yeah.
We can live with the bedrooms, and
Yeah.
you know, we're going to leave that for a
Yeah.
while and just
Wait for motivations
Just
to
enjoy
return.
the house.
The house was perfect, but it was the garden that they really fell in love with. You've got everything. Flowers, raspberries, artichokes, potatoes.
It's you know, every night fresh fruit and veg.
The good
Fantastic.
life.
The good life. Yeah.
Food.
Yeah.
The kids must love it. Look at the swings.
Yeah, just watching them play in the garden is just absolutely fantastic. It's brilliant.
That's what it was all about.
Yeah.
like, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But what about Simon's all-important music studio?
At the moment, I'm still in the house, but got the double garage and the lean-to, and we've got permission now for 3 rooms.
Okay.
So that's, you know, that'll be our next big job.
So things are all looking good for Simon's very own workspace in the garden. Planning permission has been granted, and it's now just a case of completing the necessary paperwork. Raspberry cake from the garden. A wonderful, wonderful family life for the kids and time together. It really is fairy tale stuff. You've done
It
so
feels
well.
like it. It does, without wanting to sound gushy or anything.
Of course, you did spend 420,000.
Yeah.
It's a great deal of money.
It was a lot of money for us. You know, now we've got a massive mortgage, which we didn't have before, but it's worth every penny of it. It really is, because it's changed our lives totally.
So you paid 420. You'd be pleased to know they put it on the market today at 545.
Wow, that's incredible.
With a little help from the market and a lot of elbow grease, the value's increased by an incredible 30% in just over a year.
It's fantastic, but, you know, it's our home, so
irrelevant.
but it's nice to know.
Yeah. No, this is where we want to grow old.
You've done brilliantly.
Thank you.
545 grand. I know it's all
Yeah.
relative.
That's
but it's nice
fantastic.
to know
Yeah,
it well.
that is.
Absolutely.
Thank
you.
I don't mind admitting now that at times Kirstie and I thought that we were beat. But as tough as it was, it's got to go down as one of our biggest successes. That is one very happy family. I am a bit relieved they don't want us to do it again, though.
Wow.
This week, I'm back in Yorkshire catching up with lucky lotto millionaires Roger and Lara Griffiths. Despite hitting the jackpot, these two are having real trouble choosing their dream home.
I like it.
I don't like it.
Oh. With so much indecision a year on, have they finally settled?
We bought like cat and dog until recently. I mean, it's been difficult.
IT consultant Roger, his teacher wife Lara, plus baby Ruby Griffiths were a perfectly happy family living in a 3-bed semi in the pretty town of Boston Spa. But one Saturday night, their numbers came up, literally.
This lucky pair scooped almost £2 million on the lottery, and their first thought was to buy a bigger house.
Now, you may think that winning the lottery would be the answer to all your problems. And I was certainly fascinated to find out what life was like for a lotto millionaire. But as it turned out, the transition from struggling to pay a mortgage to paying the whole thing off wasn't straightforward. And to make matters worse, I was left high and dry. Well, to be honest, Kirstie was tucked up in bed with the flu.
It was one heck of a journey.
Thanks, Kirstie.
You've got to tell me the story. I've always wanted to talk to somebody about this.
Let me just grab this for you. This is the email that I got initially, which you get if you win a tenner, if you play on the...
Dear Roger, we have some exciting news about the ticket that you bought. So you think I might have won a tenner?
And I log in, and normally if you win a tenner, your account balance shows sort of £10. It's £1,835,000. and at that point, I was like, oh my God. God!
Well, let's talk about the house, because that's, that's what I'm here to try and help sort out. What are we looking for? How much?
We want a house with a nice big kitchen that we can socialise in, a big bathroom that's got a lot of light and space, 4 bedrooms.
And budget-wise, for that, we've looked at my bottom level is 550, and we agreed to begin with at 6.
Your bottom level?
Yeah, to go to 650.
This is the problem. I'm completely extravagant, and he's tight as you come.
It's clear why they've called us in. They're still reeling from the win, and their heads must be all over the place. Plus, they're poles apart. Roger's king cautious.
But Lara's attitude is, if you've got it, spend it. Blimey.
There's only a handful of these made, and you probably don't get it. But this makes me very happy indeed.
Lara might be happy with her handbags, but Roger needs some reassuring.
You're quite worried about this, aren't you? I mean, it's a lot to take on. So.
Yeah, it is. I think the whole thing is a lot to take on, and I'm still coming to terms with it.
1.8 is enough to change your life, but it's not enough to make you wealthy forever and ever. So we've got to get this right. But at the same time, you're only going to, this is the long-term family home.
Yeah.
You don't want to be doing it again. So you need to spend enough to get what you want, but not too much to blow all the cash.
That's absolutely it. That's your brief, yeah.
It's time for a catch-up with Kirstie.
Hiya.
Just met them. They're feeling pretty confused about things.
I'd be confused if I've just won £2 million. You've got to take charge.
You wouldn't. You'd be shopping.
No, I wouldn't, actually. I think it's really important that they invest this money in property before they get a chance to shop it all away. It's down to you, Phil. I'm not there. I'm really sorry I'm not. But you've got to rein them in. You've got to be tough. You've got to safeguard their winnings for the future.
Well, that's me told.
Despite the new bank balance, Roger's budget is a strict 650 grand. And they're looking for a luxury house somewhere around Boston Spa.
With lots of living space, large kitchen and bathroom, plus at least 4 bedrooms.
Scooping the jackpot will make them think they're invincible, and they'll have monumental expectations of what 650 grand will buy them.
But we've done bigger budget searches before, and the reality in this part of Yorkshire hurts. Property prices are sky high, so Roger needs to keep Lara on a tight rein, because it'll be easy to blow the lot. I have to say, half of me sides with Roger. I think good on you, set your financial limits, stick to them, very sensible practice. But the other half of me, that sides with Lara, because I'm not convinced what they want is actually achievable within the budget that they've set. First up, we're sticking to familiar territory. We're in their favourite town of Boston Spa.
This house has almost everything they need, with 3 reception rooms, 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms.
But it's quite small. Mind you, at 495 grand, it's at a price that's bound to appeal to Roger. There's a lot of rooms, none of them are huge, and the space is quite flexible.
I think if Kirstie was here, I know I'd be talking to her about knocking down walls, to be perfectly honest.
You're absolutely right.
If Roger really is keen to use his money and not squander his winnings, then this should raise a smile. It's got investment potential and it's where they want to be.
I kind of like it. It has that sense of a hotel. It's a nice bathroom, Rog. It's nice and big. There's so much about it that I really like, and it feels nice. It feels nice in here.
In the past, when I've looked at houses, I thought, it's going to take me a lot of work to rip those cupboards out and I'll need to get a plaster in. But we could just go to a builder and say, these are the plans. You've got 6 months, go and do it. And then walk in and see it.
Part of it's laziness, you know. Because part of me just thinks, do you know what, I can't be bothered with all the fiff and the faff of getting builders in and architects and all that. I want it to be perfect, but
Roger,
I
what
want
are your
too
thoughts
much.
on that?
I think the fiff and the faff,
Who knows?
you get a house that you really want at the end. It's almost like you get to rebuild
Yeah,
part
so
of
you're
it.
really into that, aren't you? Whereas I'm just like, oh, I'll move into a hotel until it's finished. Do you know what I mean?
Lottery winner.
I was like that before.
Yeah.
So Lara wants instant perfection. Well, hopefully I'll hit the jackpot with the next house. There's certainly no fiff and faff required here.
This semi-detached period house is within walking distance of the thriving market town of Weatherby, that's crammed with Lara-friendly shops.
It has loads of living space spread over 3 floors. Even better, we're still on the right side of Roger's budget. The plus points of here is that we're 5 minutes walk into Weatherby and all the amenities and the things that you were really looking for.
Absolutely.
But actually stood here, which we won't do for any longer, it's a bit noisy.
Okay.
Check this out. There's the formal living room.
Wow. God, it's massive.
You wanted something that was big and you spacious, and
it's
you wanted something
great.
that was close to amenities.
Yeah.
The trade-off of is in the road, but you cannot hear it once you get in the house.
I like
I'm not convinced of what's going on.
I'm not convinced yet, if I was perfectly
He's
honest.
just, why?
I've got issues
Because
about
of the
that
road?
Yeah.
What a
Because
big gate on the drive.
it's not so much that, it's that I could come and live here and I'd have no problem. But I know you could come and live here because of the size of it, and in 6 months have a problem with that road.
I completely disagree.
Fine, that's fine. I have reservations at the moment.
Remember, I grew up on the
hang
main
on.
road, though.
Your reservations are based on what what you think your wife may later on feel. He's second-guessing you.
Yeah, well, I disagree with him.
Lara may be sold, but Roger needs some convincing.
I like it.
I don't like it.
Oh.
This couple have just won 1.8 million quid. They're richer than in their wildest dreams, but it doesn't make choosing a house any easier.
There's lots of stuff to do in it. I'm still worried about the road, but maybe I'm starting to come round a bit, I don't know.
Somehow, Roger, I think you'll be back. Lara likes it so much that you'll have a fight on your hands over this one.
I'm going to up the ante, and this is the first search where I feel that pushing the budget up a little bit needn't be a deal breaker. This recently refurbished detached house is in Linton near Weatherby and is on the market for $675,000.
It's an affluent village, so they wouldn't feel out of place. The house has large sitting rooms and 4 bedrooms, a state-of-the-art kitchen and stylish bathrooms.
I love it, but will they? You've got this kitchen, diner, heart of home, playroom.
I like it. There's something quite contemporary and a bit cool about this place.
When I first came in here, I said to myself, it's a lottery winner's house. This is where a lottery winner should live.
I get that. It is rock and roll.
But Lara is finding that life isn't all a bed of roses when you win the lottery.
I'm kind of intrigued as to how all of a sudden, out of nowhere, having a couple of million quid up your sleeve changes things for you.
Because you know it's the opportunity of a lifetime and you're not going to get that money again. It needs to be put in the right place. We haven't argued for about 4 or 5 years and we've had arguments.
This is what I've always wanted.
Oh, Roger! Oh my God!
If I won the lottery,
Oh, Lord in heaven above.
this is.
Can we live here?
I'm struggling to read you two.
I'm struggling to read us. I don't get it either. What are you thinking?
But I'm thinking, do I like any of these houses? That's what I'm trying to get my head around. I'm kind of thinking, yeah, I could live in this. and I could live in the other one, but they'll really like them. And that's what I'm having a real problem with today.
I think it's time Roger and I had a little man-to-man chat. If you don't mind me saying so, you've looked quite a worried man as we've gone round these.
Yes.
Whereas Lara seems to be... she's firing up, saying, you do this, do that.
I think I'm notoriously bad at house hunting, I think, in the first place. I'm seeing these brilliant houses, but they're just not quite there for what I'm hoping to get for my money.
If I showed you something that was worth in excess of what you asked me to search within, but it was what you wanted, does that mean, therefore, that you'd consider it favourably?
I think, to a certain point, yeah.
To make matters doubly worse, Kirstie's tucked up in bed, apparently with the flu, but out of sight doesn't mean out of mind. How are you feeling?
Bored. It's costing me a fortune in magazines, this.
What would your next step be?
Go for broke. Full bells and whistles, just get them to invest in some property.
I'll get onto it. We're heading back into their comfort zone and their much-loved hometown of Boston Spa. I've got one last throw of the dice. This is what a little bit more money gets you in Boston Spa.
It's a large, detached house with real grandeur. It has drawing rooms and dining rooms to die for, a kitchen and 6 bedrooms.
It's a stunning house with the rock and roll vibe they're after, and it's precisely where they want to be. But at 715 grand, it's more dosh than Roger wants to part with.
Oh my God.
Rog,
Yeah.
I want to live here.
OK, break it to me gently. Whisper.
How much is it?
It's 715,000.
It's a lot bigger and better than the last house, in my opinion.
Where it is.
For the little bit extra that it is.
This is the master bedroom
Wow.
with its lottery winners ensuite.
Dual sinks. It doesn't come any more classy than that now, does it?
Suitable, Lara?
Yep.
Yep. Roger, get any choice?
Nope.
Nope. Lara's bowled over, and this time even Roger looks pretty impressed. Maybe I've struck gold at last.
It's huge.
It's more money than they wanted to spend, but it's where they wanted to be, and they wanted a big house.
Wow, look.
It's a beautiful, beautiful house. And it's an incredible sort of like house to think about actually moving into. But I expected this to have been really professionally decorated and all that. And I'm not saying that it's far from that, but it's going to need us to do something on top. And that kind of extra on top is just making me a little bit edgy about it.
Roger is bothered by the budget.
That's really nice. It's cute.
But property is a much better investment than handbags.
I have to say, standing here talking to you now, I can see this being my house. And it's giving me a very nice, warm, tingly feeling.
It's giving him palpitations.
A small heart attack, I think.
Things are no clearer. They have to try and focus their minds overnight. Well, they've decided the Boston house is too expensive after all. And surprise, surprise, they want to see the Weatherby house again.
Lara loved this on the first viewing and Roger's caved in, despite the busy road.
The last time we were here, it was the peak of rush hour. Things were a bit quieter this time of day, but still a busy road.
Yep.
Roger, I've got to look at you for a response here. That was your issue before.
It was, and I think it was rush hour and it was busy, and it's a lot quieter now, so I've got an open mind today.
But will Roger's change of heart extend to the inside of the house? Thinking back to your original brief to me was a big kitchen. Now, that's not a big kitchen.
No, it's not, I know.
It can be improved because we could open up the wall.
How much would that cost?
4,000 or 5,000.
I would have said that would have been one of the things that I'd have looked at doing.
Me too.
Yeah.
There's been a bit of a role reversal. Roger likes the house now, but Lara doesn't seem quite so enamoured.
I can't get past the ensuite.
What do you mean? Hasn't got one?
Yeah.
Is that the issue?
Yeah, isn't that pathetic?
It would be possible, and I'm doing it in my own house,
Okay.
to cut through this wall and put your dressing room and ensuite in that bedroom.
Would it?
Yeah, absolutely. But I wonder how Roger's feeling. If you've dealt with a road and you still stand firm by you want a big house, you don't want to spend too much money, we're stood on the right one.
He's right. I'm going to leave you and marry him.
I think his wife would be too pleased. I'm comfortable with it.
Well, 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 wonders will never cease. Comfortable means Roger likes it, and likes it enough to buy it.
It's a great house and a wise investment.
House is on the market at 595,000. 595 is a guide. That's an asking price. I would like to see you buying that house for 575, 580. Yeah, I'm just thinking about what price. And I'm thinking 570.
OK. We just go with it and see what happens.
Roger and Lara are in a fantastic position to buy. But even so, we still have to negotiate hard and get Roger the best deal.
Paul, good evening. It's Phil Spencer here. And I'm pleased to say that they do want to make an offer on your house. The price that we've arrived at is 570,000. Yes, please. That would be great. Bye. The greatest killer of property deals is time.
I know.
You want momentum from the start. So the moment we agree terms, right, solicitors in touch, send us a contract, get a survey done, bosh, get it done. Hello, Phil Spencer. Hello, Paul. Paul, can I just put you on hold? Because I'm actually sat with them, and that seems very fair to me. They will take it off the market, they'll put a sold sign up, and nobody else will walk through the door if you'll pay the 575.
Is that guaranteed?
That is guaranteed. Happy?
Yep.
That's a deal, Paul. Cheers, bye. Welcome.
A few weeks later, a complete turnaround. Roger still couldn't get that road off his mind and persuaded Lara that they needed to pull out. We were back to square one. Almost. Luckily, one of the agent contacts we made came up trumps for them and found this beautiful house a mere mile from their favourite town of Boston Spa. A year later, I'm back to see how they're getting on. When I first met them, they were struggling to make any decisions. Their heads were in a complete spin. Roger was Mr. Cautious. Meanwhile, Lara was a complete spendaholic. So I've come back today to see how things have settled down and to have a look around the house that they finally decided on. Well, from the outside, it certainly looks expensive. Has Roger had a change of heart?
Come
Roger.
in. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you. Hello, Rumi.
Through into the lounge.
How are you doing?
Go on.
So this is it. This is home.
This is home.
Where's Mummy? Where's Laura?
At the midwife.
The midwife? The midwife?
Yeah, 6 months old.
Fantastic.
I know, all change come Christmas.
Wicked. I've got to say, it looks expensive, Roger. Did you blow that budget?
It's 670.
This was?
Yeah.
OK.
670? There's no way you'd have agreed to that a year ago. But it looks like everything they wanted. It has 4 big bedrooms, all with en-suites, 2 sitting rooms, and that massive open-plan kitchen they craved. Even though they've got the builders in doing some major work to the place, it still looks simply stunning. I knew with time on his side and Lara on his case, Roger would come around in the end. What was it like? Because it was a pretty crazy time. You'd only had the win for sort of 3 weeks when we were looking for a house.
Yeah.
And you certainly looked as though you had the troubles of the world on you.
Yes, I did. Suddenly, I kind of felt, OK, I've been shown all these houses, and I couldn't get my head around the fact that if I bought a house, I still had the money. It was been bricks and mortar. I know you kept saying it to me. So I was just fretting. That's the understatement of the year. It's no surprise that winning almost £2 million sent Roger's head into a spin. But I'm delighted to see that he's overcome those fears. They've got this beautiful family home, and just in time by the looks of things. And the kitchen. Here she is! Hello.
You all right?
Very well.
Did you miss
How are
me?
you? Congratulations.
Yeah.
Did the scan go okay?
Yeah, I've got 4D pictures.
Yes.
Pictures of our baby.
Sweet.
How weird is that?
She may have her daddy's eyes, but what about her mother's penchant for leather? Remember those handbags?
Where's all your stuff?
Do you know?
Where are all the handbags?
In there.
Can I have a look?
Yeah. There's not that many at the minute, actually. I've been quite...
What do you mean not that many at the minute?
Well, I've been doing lots of selling, Phil. I can't open that. There you go. I've been doing lots of selling.
Selling? You're not a seller?
No, I am. Buy, sell with the money you make. Buy. Then Roger doesn't shout at me.
Are my ears deceiving me here? Cutting back on handbags? Even selling them? Is this the card-carrying spendaholic I met a year ago? When we were searching together, you were absolutely, as you say, poles apart. You were trying to spend a lot of money and Roger was trying to spend as little money as possible. Did you both eventually meet in the middle?
We fought like cat and dog until recently. I mean, it's been difficult. And then, you know, kind of...
But was that to do with the money?
Yeah.
Or what to do with the money,
It was to do with how do we change our lives now we have the money, and do we both want the same things? We both sat down and talked about it and realised we do both want the same things.
But it just takes a while to work through that. It's taken best part of a year then.
Yeah.
And happy and settled now?
Yeah, ready to win the next lot. Yeah.
That's more like it. And just looking around this place, I think they've hit the jackpot for a second time already. Obviously, it took a while to find and to choose and to commit to the right house.
Yeah.
But you got there eventually.
Yeah, we did.
All along, I was looking for this.
Yeah.
And I think,
But at the time,
this wasn't available. This wasn't available anywhere. I
think at the time you wouldn't have been prepared to write the cheque for this.
You might be right, actually. Yeah. In fact, you probably are. You're always right, aren't you, Phil?
Got it in one, Roger. But I'm delighted to see that you've both come to your senses. There's been a real meeting of minds that's gone on here. They seem happy and at last comfortable with each other's way of thinking. This is an absolute dream of a house. And with the second baby on the way, everything's come together very nicely. This week, I'm back in North Yorkshire catching up with ex-army girl Angie Tilley. After months of fruitless searching, she decided to call in the SAS of property. But even we struggled with this one.
But it's just too far away.
Are you saying you want to discount this property full stop?
Yes.
2 years ago, Kirstie and I were here scouring the coast and countryside of North Yorkshire for Angie. She was feeling the pull of family ties. She wanted to be near her folks, but not too near. Too close to home would be too close for comfort. She had an exacting brief, but it was our mission to find her a fantastic place to make a fresh start. After years travelling the world as a major in the British Army, Angie Tilley is demobbed. She's decided it's time to get back to her roots in North Yorkshire.
It does feel like coming home, really. I've always seen myself settling down around here.
But after a year of looking, she's rejected over 40 properties.
That set alarm bells ringing. Surely her criteria can't be that tough, can it?
I definitely want somewhere that has a view, that you can open the curtains in the morning and look out. I'd prefer to be in the countryside rather than the middle of a town. It needs to be somewhere that's quite open plan, having a bedroom and a bathroom downstairs, so it's quite easy to get around in.
A practical, open-planned layout so Angie can move around easily, plus that downstairs bedroom. Sounding bang on. So what's been the problem?
Danielle, who helps look after Angie, might give us a clue. She's endured the last torturous 12 months of failed house hunting.
We've seen a lot of houses that maybe we thought walls could be knocked down. We've never gone any further. We've never asked any professional advice.
Rejecting a house because of the need to knock down walls? I'm sure I can help Angie overcome those fears. A sledgehammer is an essential tool if you're after open plan living.
One thing's for certain, she's arranged her finances with military precision. Savings plus profit from an old flat equal 400 grand. So she's a cash buyer and chain free. She can move fast. Perfect in this market.
How very organised, but I reckon that may be Angie's problem. She's so focused on the practicalities that if it doesn't work now, she dismisses it. She needs to follow her heart more. My mission is to find something she'll simply love.
Before we start the search, we're meeting Angie at her mum's house in beautiful Saltburn to nail down the finer points. What a beautiful spot. You've got an amazing view.
I would love a house with a view like that, actually.
Yeah.
So, how close would you get to here?
I want to be in about 20 minutes away from here.
Right.
We're looking too much for the perfect property, not being able to open our minds up a bit into what could be achieved by properties.
We're focusing the search on the coastal areas around charming Whitby. The trouble is, these areas are pricey. It's a holiday hotspot, so homes with views are snapped up.
But the market is slowing, so we might just get a deal. Having moved into temporary accommodation, she's desperate to find her own place. I think it's time to rally the troops and crack on.
Hiya.
Wow.
Now, we know your propensity for just driving past something and driving on because it doesn't suit from the look of the road. What do you reckon?
The road here is fine and the countryside is fantastic.
That's an initial big thumbs up.
That'll do me. Our first property nestles in the beautiful North Yorkshire Moors National Park.
We're in Statendale between Whitby and Scarborough and 45 minutes from the family. Hope that's far enough. This character-packed 13th century barn conversion offers stunning vistas plus bags of inside space.
It has a big lounge that leads to a massive 28-foot kitchen cum dining room plus 4 bedrooms, all on the ground floor. It's on the market a shade under her 400 grand budget. It's on the market at 399,000. That actually comes with the 2 paddocks that you can see just outside here.
The windows are exactly the right level that I can see through. What I've found in other properties that I've looked at is it's had a fantastic view, but when I've got inside, I haven't been able to see out of the windows because they've been too high. So this is the ideal height for the windows, and I really love the character in it. I like the feel of it, and it's just what I've been looking for, actually.
It's something I
You can't say that on property 1.
Yes, you can, because then we can go to the pub.
So she's happy with the inside layout. Hopefully the outside space and views will be bang on too.
Oh, isn't that fantastic?
That's perfect.
The old windmill in the distance on the hill over there.
Well, well, this is all sounding very positive. Have we got a serious contender?
For me, it's a lovely location. The barn itself is fine. I could do things with it. Very nice, really like it. But it's just too far away.
Okay. So if this was closer, it would definitely be a contender.
Perfect, isn't it, really?
Definitely a contender, yeah.
That's a blow. She really loves the inside, but up rears that practical streak. She's decided it's too far from her folks. We've overstepped that 20-minute boundary by a little too much.
I thought a 45-minute drive to her parents would be perfect. Clearly she doesn't, but at least the house was a winner.
Hopefully our next appointment should strike a better balance. It's in Glasedale, closer to family, but not too close, we hope.
This delightful chalet-style house is packed with rooms and has those all-important views. The property's a dream. It's on 2 levels with 2 reception rooms plus 2 bedrooms and a bathroom on the ground floor.
Then upstairs to 2 further bedrooms and a shower room, ideal for guests. It's a fab house that Angie could almost move straight into, and all for £385,000, 15 grand under budget.
One of the great joys of this house and this position for me is the community. We're in a very active village. There are 3 pubs, there's shops, there is village life and a community that you could slot into. We felt that the house itself could suit you very well.
Interestingly enough, I'd identified this house in a previous search that we'd done with the family, but discounted it and not come to look at it.
Yeah.
But coming into the house, I can see how nice the house is.
Goodness me, we've got Angie inside a house she dismissed from the outside. Maybe the cycle of rejections could be at an end. And now she can see that it has the potential to deliver everything she needs.
I need more of a wet room. I wouldn't have a bath in here, but I'd need a toilet and a sink.
To create a wet room, the first thing you need to do is strip everything out. This floor is wooden, which is a benefit to us in putting a wet room in because the drainage has to go down.
Right.
But you don't want a wet room to go wrong. You don't want it to be leaking through into your floor because if it leaks, you're not going to know about it until it's too late. So it's worth doing properly. So I think you would end up spending 8 grand.
Typical.
Danielle would be spending a lot of time in the house, and since she's done so much of the searching with Angie, I want to know how she thinks we're doing.
Up here we've got an office area and 2 bedrooms, in fact.
Wow, this is nice. It's not what I expected at all up here.
I couldn't bet money either way on what Angie was feeling about this house. And she's a practical purchaser. She doesn't get an emotional feeling for a house.
She would really like to see all of the houses.
Yeah.
And then she's a big thinker. She'd rather just sit and think about all the houses. I could never imagine her to walk into a house and go, I'll have it.
So, the verdict?
I think we've achieved a lot on day one. There's a lot more to do and consider tomorrow. So I think we've got a definite maybe.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
A definite maybe is just not good enough. I'm looking for a definite yes. So we've decided to throw caution to the wind.
Despite wanting to live at least 20 minutes from the family, our next appointment in Gisborough has them only minutes away. But it's so special we think it's worth the trade-off.
It's this 19th century stable block that was converted 5 years ago. It's charming and Angie would get bags of space for her money.
Large living and dining areas, 4 big bedrooms and a bathroom all off this downstairs corridor. It has the character that could win Angie's heart. It's on the market for a shade under 390 grand, 10 under budget, and we feel that with some alterations, this could be the dream home.
Right, come in, kids.
This is lovely.
First impressions?
Good.
Good.
Very good. It's light, it's airy. I like the windows. I like the feel of the place.
Yeah.
I remember coming up to see them converting it, actually.
Really?
And I remember it as old stable blocks. Obviously, I grew up around here and I used to go walking in the hills a lot, so...
Gorgeous. I love it.
Now that's more like it. Childhood memories? Angie's passions are definitely stirring, and I've got a practical solution to really make this space work for her.
The corridor is a wasted space, essentially. So take down this wall and make the sitting room and the dining room 3 foot wider.
That sounds ideal.
Oh, brilliant.
Should we go into the kitchen? It's out of proportion to the house, really.
It is, yeah. It's pretty modern, isn't it?
I would knock the wall down to make it bigger.
Yeah.
I don't like it this small.
Blimey, knocking down walls? When we first met Angie, she was wary of houses that looked like they needed work. Now she seems to be embracing the notion.
And the decking area.
Decking area.
That would be cool for barbecues. It looks beautiful.
Does the garden run all the way to the wall at the bottom that we saw?
Yes.
And is that the garage in the bottom right?
Yes.
Is there any scope for having a carport closer?
Yes. The great thing is, planning permission is really, really flexible when it comes to your needs. Mm-hmm. They're very firm until you point out that the reason you're asking is to make your own house more accessible for your needs.
Right.
And then they will bend a hell of a lot of the rules.
Houses with practical questions shouldn't be overlooked, and the planning office is only a phone call away. I reckon Angie's loving this house, but we need to tackle that thorny issue of family proximity. I hope it won't be a deal breaker.
What do you make of the position of this one, Angie? We're about a mile away from your granny and 15 minutes from your mum, something like that.
If it's the right place, it's fine. I don't mind being so close if it's nice.
Okay.
And what I've seen so far, it wouldn't bother me.
I got satisfaction out of the fact that Angie admitted that the reason that she was so taken with this house was because she knew the area and the childhood memories and everything.
You're right, she's fallen in love with it.
And she doesn't seem to see that it's any problem that it's only a mile from her grand's.
Which is a bit of a surprise for me, I have to say.
Really?
I thought that would be too close. I mean, she did say at the beginning, I want to be 20 minutes from my family so I can, you know, they've got a ring, they've got to get in the car. This is walking distance to Granny's house.
Angie is transforming from the logical lady with family at arm's length to someone who's wearing her heart on her sleeve and happy with family on the doorstep.
So how are we doing with this one? Marks out of 10?
It's looking really good so far, and it sort of ticks a lot of boxes. I am a bit concerned about the price of the property with all the alterations that we've spoken about.
Yeah. I think to knock down every wall that we have talked about, I think we're talking about a minimum of 20,000. So basically we'd have to achieve an asking price of about £375,000. A definite maybe?
A definite maybe. A definite maybe, this one.
Ah.
Bingo! She seems genuinely inspired by this one and keen to take on some pretty dramatic changes to make the house right for her.
But it's time to push the boat out. For Angie, the best buy could be a plot of land and the potential to design and build her own house.
So it's straight on the telephone to land agents, civic trusts and developers, hunting for a plot with a view.
It looks like we might have uncovered a last-minute gem that could be everything she wants, eventually. With Angie's search so far, we've looked at existing buildings that have all needed tweaking. Here, we've got the best view so far. We're right inside of Angie's zone, and we've got the potential to create something that's entirely bespoke to her. It's a bit of a wild card. We only found it last night. I wonder if it'll suit.
We're in Slights, right at the northern edge of the Yorkshire Moors National Park. This shell is a dream in the making.
Its position is stunning and has views from every angle. It's semi-detached and a developer has plans to turn it back into a 2-bedroom property. It's currently being sold for 320 grand, and this price includes the full cost of the renovation.
But is it a step too far?
Now, we only actually discovered this property last night, so it's somewhat new to us. And in fact, in the dark last night, we couldn't actually see the view.
The view is absolutely fantastic.
The Abbey and the sea. It's perfect.
The plan at the moment, for sale at 320,000 in next May, is that's the entrance hall leading through into a living room, kitchen in here, and then there are 2 bedrooms and a bathroom upstairs. Getting in at this stage would give you the chance to design your own space as you saw fit to suit your own needs.
What you've got to imagine is your dream house in the footstep of this house, built entirely to suit your needs.
What I really need to do is see some planning and sketches or whatever. But no, it's quite exciting actually to think about this being developed and having input in it from the start.
The practical side's not gone away, but this is easily the most excited I've seen her. Angie would be buying within the national park, so planning regulations are strict.
She wouldn't get permission to build any old house, but she could design the perfect home with the open plan feel and downstairs bedroom she needs within the existing walls. It wouldn't be a small job. Does she think it would be worth it?
I think that this has loads of potential.
Yeah.
And with that view out there, it is definitely worth the wait. I think it's worth it. What do you think?
I love it. I love the view. Personally, if it was me, I'd be too scared and I would go for the cottage.
Yeah, so I'm the other way. I think I'd prefer to go for this.
You like the challenge, that's what it is. It is perfect. Perfect view.
I can't give up that view, I don't think.
She's really up for it, and no wonder. The finished product will be all her own design. I've arranged for a local architect to talk through her plans.
Hi Angie. You've obviously got a wonderful site here and a shell of a building, so you've obviously got lots of ideas.
In a nutshell, what I need is open plan living area, kitchen, diner, on obviously the ground floor. Then upstairs I'd need another 2 bedrooms and a bathroom, one for guests, one for a carer.
Right.
Another thing that's very important to me is outside area.
Right. So you want the rooms to sort of flow outside so you can capture these magnificent views. I think it's got great potential here and there's definitely something we could do with this space.
Great news. Her plans are easily attainable, but the project will take over 5 months to complete.
Is this view worth waiting for? You're so desperate to get into your own home.
It is worth waiting for. Definitely is worth waiting for.
Fabulous! I think we've finally managed to turn her house blindness into 2020 vision.
And now there's no stopping her. This search has become a 2-horse race, as Angie is still mulling over that stable conversion that's in move-inable condition.
It's on the market for just under 390 grand, and she's keen to take a second look around the place. Maybe she'll prefer this easier option.
I think the first thing we can see is at this time of year, the afternoon sunlight isn't quite accessing the garden enough.
Yes.
But let's get inside, because what we're here to look at is the layout.
Whilst Angie and Danielle refamiliarise themselves with that layout, I'm checking out my plans to make it more accessible. At the moment, all the rooms lead from this corridor. Remember, my plan is to knock down part of the corridor wall, increasing the usable space.
The work would cost around 20 grand, and it's the more straightforward option. But does this house tug Angie's heartstrings as much as the wreck with the view?
Do you still feel keen on it?
A little less keen than last time.
Coming back in the afternoon with the sun out and seeing the property in the sunshine, or as it was, not in the sunshine.
Are you saying that you want to discount this property full stop?
Yes. I feel as if I want to look into the property we saw this morning a bit more.
So she's fallen in love with the most ambitious option. She's transformed from blinkered to visionary. We've got to try and get it for her.
It's priced at 320 grand with works completed, but Angie wants to buy the house as it stands and bring in her own architect. With this in mind, we put in an offer of 249 grand for the uncompleted shell.
I've just heard back from the agent.
Hello?
Angie, it's Kirstie.
Oh, hi, Kirstie.
Your offer of 249 subject to planning has been accepted.
Oh, brilliant. I'm really pleased.
A few weeks later, Angie's architect breaks some devastating news. The house isn't big enough to make all the necessary alterations she needs, and she has to make the heartbreaking decision to pull out and give up that view she's fallen for. But our girl's no quitter, and a month later she's the first to hear about a great property on the market for 350,000. It looks perfect and needs hardly any work. Angie offers the full asking price and it's accepted. This time, everything goes according to plan and Angie moves in. Her new home has become a hub for family gatherings, and they love having Angie close by. It's about time I checked out Angie's new party pad. When I first met Angie, she'd been house hunting for a year and rejected almost 40 properties. She was finding it difficult to satisfy a seemingly straightforward brief. She longed for picturesque, but her practical needs meant that her head often ruled over her heart. So I've come back to see if she struck the right chord with this place. It's not exactly the rural idyll we set out to find, but with her family just 15 minutes away, I bet they're always around.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Are you expecting me? Auntie.
Lovely
Hello.
to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see you indeed. It's been a long time.
Yes, this is my mum. This is
Hello,
Phil.
Phil.
Pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, yeah? Gone for 2 years, really, hasn't it?
It has. It's been 2 years. Time goes quickly.
Should we go into the living room?
I'd love to. It's nice to see mums taking advantage of Angie being so close. I'm so pleased for her. This bright, spacious bungalow ticks all the right boxes. It has 3 big bedrooms, that all-important wet room, a big sitting room, and a fantastic open-plan kitchen with garden views. It all looks absolutely ideal.
It is. It's nice and spacious, which is one of the things that I needed, really, to get around easily.
Yeah. And how's it been for you, Angie, moving home?
It's been really nice because I see an awful lot of the family. Obviously, before I moved back, I was in the army and only saw the family once or twice a year. Now I get to see them every week.
Being close to family was only one half of the search. Angie also longed for a picture-perfect view. This house does have a nice view, but it's not quite the view from the house on the hill, is it? Did you decide that that was the compromise that had to be taken?
Yes, I did in the end. Obviously, it's not as dramatic and breathtaking, but the house is perfect, really.
I have to admit, the outside space looks pretty impressive. It looks as though there's been a lot of thought gone into this.
Yeah, my dad designed the garden, and then we had a landscape garden company come in to actually do the work.
It looks expensive.
It was very expensive, but we spend a lot of time out here and it was completely worth it.
Yeah, no, it looks absolutely stunning. It's a wonderful space that gives Angie her very own oasis. It's been fantastic for me to come back and see what you eventually chose, and to see that you've got such a good setup here. It really does seem to suit very well.
Yeah, it is. It took a long time finding, but it's been worth it, and it ticks most of the boxes, so yeah, I'm really pleased.
And you're amongst family and loved ones?
Can't get rid of them.
Close, but not too close. That's the stuff, Angie. Well, it took a while, but I am thrilled to see that Angie's bought a home that is close to her family and that is now so well set up for her. I think she's going to be happy here for many, many years to come, and I guess that's what this search was all about.